Now
he's going to recruit a Black Widow in the movie that comes out in July.
Mm-hmm.
She's now recruiting a Captain America,
U.S. agent.
So she's going to be.
I was about to say he becomes U.S. agent, right?
Yeah,
right.
He becomes U.S. agent, and so she's going to make her a version of the Avengers.
Which, by the way, the casting of Wyatt Russell, just geeks me out because every time I turn around, I'm like, could they please, again, let's go to Escape from New York, because they please relaunch that series and have him play his dad's character, but younger. Because there are times he looks so much like his dad, it's freaky.
I have a feeling between the three of us, I'm the only one that watched the show called Lodge 49.
I knew of it. I never watched it.
Yeah, I watched it. I loved it. I loved him. I had no fucking idea he was
Kurt Russell's
son. No, because
I mean, once you see it, you know it, right? Once you see this,
you know, yeah. But normally, or in that show, but every time I see him, he has a big fucking red beard, and in this show, he didn't do it, and they literally made the mask look awkward, so that when you saw him, you go, "Oh, why is that? That's not Captain America." And so
he's got a little bit of an underbite, and the mask really makes it pronounced. So the first episode or two, he was just a very just kind of unlikable character the way they shot his face.
Yeah,
and they literally made the mask to make him look unlikable.
Well, right. And I think it also helps that, it literally, if you look at his face from his mouth up, he is his father, but his jaw is Goldie Hawn's jaw, and it comes off that what you're talking about, that underbite, and the way they made that makes him look like he has squish face, almost like the old man from Up.
Ding,
that's what
memes of that.
The first time I saw him, I thought, what the fuck?
They're trying to make him. They're definitely trying to make him unlikable by the way they're.
Well, and he's bringing such a level to it.
Go
ahead, Sean.
But until this show, I did not know he was Kurt Russell's son.
Well, so the moment that I saw him, I was like, I know him, and I saw Wyatt Russell, and it didn't. I knew Wyatt Russell was Kurt Russell's son. It was 2 episodes into his run that I went, that's right, because once you see it, you're right, you cannot unsee it.
Oh, yes.
And so Abby and I watched this together. And
if you like him, watch Lodge 49. I'm
just
putting it out there. It got canceled. It was not complete, but it's a fun show.
So Abby and I watched this together because she has such an enormous crush on Sebastian Stan, which is an aside. He had a movie come out this week called Monday, and she came and went, Daddy, I saw Sebastian Stan's penis. He is completely naked. And I'm like, well, you know what? He's a man. He has a penis. So don't be shocked by that, babe. But as we watch it, Abby has her mother's tendency towards, if they present somebody you're not supposed to like, she despises him. Oh, well, what I said was, and it was in those moments before I realized.
In the Wasp.
Yes.
DJ hates her. Yeah.
It's in the moments before that I really knew who that was. I said, God, it's crazy what they've done with the mask for him. I said, because you look at him without him, he's an incredibly handsome guy. He puts the mask on and he looks awful.
And they put the chin strap on. It really kind of brings that out even more.
And of course, Abby's he's awful no matter what.
Adjusted the eyes and the ears a little bit. They made him look goofy.
Now, y'all talked about a cameo, and I've heard this cameo is in this episode.
Oh, okay. So
who and where was it in the episode? Did I miss it?
It's supposed to be Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
She's the cameo. That's the one.
She's the cameo.
Yeah.
The way. Okay, so I heard the tease that for the longest time everybody thought they're going to put Wolverine in the city, but then when she showed up as that, I was like, well, I don't give a shit. She's great.
Well, her character's not relevant, but it is just kind of random to see such a well-known actor suddenly pop up in this that had no tease to be in this thing. And she was great. She was great in the moment, but I wasn't prepared for Julia Louis-Dreyfus to show up. Like, what's happening? Is it Veep?
And
what's going on?
Gives a business card that's black on one side, white on the other side, and he'll know when to use it.
I mean, I thought she was interesting. An interesting choice to put her there. But for the tease, a cameo was coming. I was kind of like, well, all right, great, okay.
I mean, they did the same thing with WandaVision. We were expecting some big character to pop up, and it never really did.
He did that to himself. He said, I'm really excited about working with somebody I've never worked with before. He's talking about working with himself. But in this, I don't know why people were trying to tease it as a big thing unless it literally pays off in Black Widow.
Yeah.
And somehow she's a bigger character in that, and we don't know that. And so this is the cameo from another thing that
you're mentioning that she's in Black Widow would make sense why this would be a big moment. But because of COVID, we weren't able to watch Black Widow. They're finally releasing that in theaters and doing a streaming thing. When is that supposed to come out? Do you know, Sean?
I can tell you exactly when it is because it's my birthday, July 9th.
Ah, well, there you go.
Okay. So, by the way, I will probably be buying it for the Disney stuff. So, at least you, Richard, and Chris can come over. Why don't we all watch it?
Sure.
Todd, are you all double punched and everything up?
I didn't have to be double punched. I got the Johnson & Johnson shot. I got one time, and I am ready to go, brother.
Well, we all should have a party and just watch it over here. Okay. That'll justify the purchase.
We're about 3 weeks or 4 weeks off from Chris being second vaxxed and having his 2 weeks afterwards. So,
have you been second vaxxed?
So it's July 9th.
Have you gotten your second one?
I have, yeah. I'm technically Thursday will be my 2 weeks.
Okay.
After. So I'll be that 99 whatever %.
So once Chris is vaccinated, JJ's vaccinated, right, Sean?
Yep, we're all double punched.
Can we get back together and record then at that point?
Yeah. I mean, once Chris has gotten through his 2 weeks after the second shot, I'll feel a lot safer moving around. We're both going to feel a lot safer. In fact, we're planning on. We talked with Sean and JJ last night. When he's got that 2 weeks, that we may go somewhere and have some margaritas.
Yay!
You guys are more than welcome to join us, but we want to make sure that it's not a crowded restaurant, and that it's we still have a little bit of concern about.
We're responsible, yes.
Well,
crowds of people, but
this is no way in me trying to infringe upon y'all's going out. But I did tell Sean we are now officially 1 day under the 4-month mark when my child moves to Boulder, Colorado. And at that point, I am going to be turning to my friends and going, "Hi, my name is Todd. I'd like to introduce you again. I'm going to bring my wife around because otherwise she is going to lose her mind if she sits in this house and her child's gone. So we may come down and crash your party a few times a day."
Of course. Life begins after the children go off to college.
Either that or insanity because she'll just lose her shit the whole time. But
it'll be a little quiet around there.
Yeah, it's a weird thing, and of course I get some friends like, "Oh, you only have an only child. It's not that hard." I'm like, doesn't that actually number one? No matter when your child moves us, that's hard. And second, I could actually make the case that it's harder for us because you get another one. Ours is just over. So fuck you.
Todd, you and I have talked about this before. Obviously, your child is not a pet, but you only have one dog. It died. So get over it. Wait till you have two. No.
Well, it's a weird analogy, but it's this idea that somehow you are less
having
because
multiple,
you only have one child and you're not going to experience the same type of loss and boredom and curious about how do we readapt to not having somebody in the house 7 days a week. As you'll have the same issues that everybody else does when they go through
exactly. I think I've talked about this before, and I may have mentioned it here, that as a parent of an only child, you get discrimination of people. Oh, you only have one. Well, if you knew that we are the kind that we were able to easily have her, and we then lost babies after that.
You did have problems,
and we could never do it again. You would never, on the flip side, knowing that somebody tried and finally had it, that becomes a miracle baby. But you almost get shamed to an extent by a lot of people, and I'm kind of like, I don't judge you for your life. Don't look at me and somehow degrade me. I don't care what your plight is in life. I just fucking back off. That's your life. This is my life. Don't judge me on what it is.
Never look into somebody else's bowl of food unless it's to make sure they have enough. Don't judge them if they have a whole lot. Just make sure they have enough.
Yeah.
Don't look at somebody else's life and go,
Wow. Philosophical, Sean. That was.
I know, right?
That was kind of meaty. I almost don't know if we can handle any more talking after that. It was so.
That was the
gravitas.
The episode we put it all together. Yeah.
I think Sean's balls finally dropped at that very moment. It was boom. There they were.
There we go. The other one just fell now.
Has anyone got anything else pop culture wise we need to touch on?
No.
You guys watching Invincible?
Yeah, I did.
One episode in. I like the first episode. I haven't gone much for that. Maybe we'll do it this afternoon.
It's a good bloody punch 'em up. It's staying true to the comics.
I pretty much think I've figured out where it's going pretty quickly, but
hang on. So you've not read the comic?
No.
Richard has. I have.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you think it's going, Todd?
I think, and I'm sorry, the J.K. Simmons. What's his character's name?
Yeah, Omni-Man.
Omni-Man. It paints him as that he was sent here to protect Earth, but I think he was sent here to conquer it. That's what it feels like, and he's almost like training his son so that his son's going to go. He wants his son to go help him, but they're going to have to fight each other. That kind of thing.
We could take up Invincible 1 minute at a time. Minute of the Invincible.
No. Is it still going as a comic, or was it only a limited run?
No,
it went on for a decade.
It was like 150 issues.
Yeah, it went on for a while. There are 3 big, gigantic omnibuses of the series, but it did end.
Yeah.
So they could.
I'm happy to see Kirkman have success outside of just Walking Dead. This is the only reason I'm super excited about seeing this do well in the animated medium.
And I've also heard rumors that they're going to do a live action Invincible as well, like a movie. I don't know how
hit
that's
me as a little funny that I was like, why didn't
they
just
do this? So long as it's not done by
action?
M. Night Shyamalan, I think we're all right.
Well, there you go.
Shyamalan.
Wow.
Invincible.
Avatar.
Yeah, I never saw the Avatar film. I heard it was just awful.
The cartoon is amazing.
Is it really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's great.
And the follow-up too, Core.
Yeah. It's one of those shows, kind of like the She-Ra show, which was also really good too. Mm-hmm. The first season is very kind of childlike, and then because it's kind of aiming for that audience.
It's the cartoony get you in there, yeah.
And then by the time you get to season 2 and season 3, they begin to develop this very big, wide reality, right?
Yeah.
One other thing, because we're reaching the end of it, I'm just going to ask: have either of you tried For All Mankind on Apple?
Mm-mm.
Well, I don't have Apple.
Okay.
Which one is this one?
Well, we got Apple TV for free because the girls both got new iPhones and it came with it. Yeah. For All Mankind is a retelling of the space race, except that 2 weeks prior to the land mooning, the land mooning, the lunar landing, the Russians beat us to the moon. They don't know how, they don't know why they did it, but it just flips that whole thing about the reality of what the space race was. It isn't just a glorious declaration that we're better than
more
them.
Aggressive American space race.
And it's made by the guy that Ron Moore that did Battlestar Galactica, the more recent one. And so he's pretty good. And it's a very interesting show. I'm not saying I love it, but it's interesting. So that's pretty good if people want to check that out. And if you have Apple TV, it's kind of worth a watch. I think that's about it.
That's the one service I just can't give into, Apple.
Well, I will tell you that
it's worth. If it shows up somewhere else, I'll watch it. But yeah,
I will tell you this: Ted Lasso is effing
that is the one to watch.
Boys,
God!
If we, I know you're going to go Ted Lasso, but if you're going to go Ted Lasso, you got to go deep. You got to go Scrubs. You got to go.
I don't got to do shit. I'm just telling you that's a good show.
We talked about this last time.
You got to do Scrubs. You got to do and Cougar Town.
I will never watch Cougar Town.
Both created by the same guy, and both they start off a little bit slow. Where you go, all right, this show is about doctors, and then you at the end of the series you're crying. And Cougar Town starts about, all right, this is an older woman dating younger men. At the end of the series, you're like, oh, god damn it!
Is Courtney Cox? Is Courtney Cox is she in all the episodes?
Hatred of Courtney Cox. Get over it. You'll love it.
I fucking hate her. So no, outside the fact that she danced with Bruce Springsteen in a music video, that's about the only redeeming thing.
And they bring that up in the show.
I can't watch Cougar Town. I might eventually watch Scrubs, but Ted Lasso, one of the sweetest things about simply being a good person that's been put out in recent times. Well worth it. That's it. Everybody have a great week. We'll be back next week.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.